It's See Something, Say Something. Candace and Cindy are two therapists aiming to demystify therapy and pull the curtain on the people who are conducting your sessions.
Surprise, surprise. Therapists are people too. Listening as we giggle, chat about culture, navigating life experiences, discussing the things we like, and mental health.
Okay. I feel like this is a good place to be. And like maybe our check-in today is like, what song has been your mood lately? I feel like that's kind of the vibe.
I have so many that have been getting me into the vibe.
Tell me. I think I know mine.
Are we starting?
Yeah, girl.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome to See Something, Say Something. You just caught us in the jam sesh. So we feel like it's a wonderful start to kind of talk about the music that we've been vibing to lately.
Yeah. Hey guys.
I'm foaming at the mouth. I'm so excited.
I kind of just peeped off Candace's vibe. I was like, what does she want to start with today for a check-in? And I felt like
love music.
Music is kind of the vibe today.
Girl. Okay. So, so a slower beat. I've been into Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. I listen to that on my way to Hot Sculpt in the morning. Oh. It's so good.
What about that song has been calling out to you? Because you don't want to ask. Yeah, what part of that song has been making you feel whatever it is that makes you want to play it?
I just love a love song.
Okay.
Or like an unrequited love or like a little bit of like a breakup. I love it so I can like create a narrative in a music video in my head so I can perform it while I'm like in the bathroom, in the shower, on my way to wherever and have a little Momo. But to amp me up, and when I tell you amp me up, Angel of My Dreams, but the club version with the Blessed Madonna, when I tell you, it amped me up so hard, I literally was late to work because I had to have a moment and dance because I was like, wait, this is Tuga. It's Tuga.
I've never heard either one of those songs. So, like, even the Lady Gaga one, although I was watching, like, a little snippet of the music video the other day.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
Yeah, and someone was like, yes, Lady Gaga, like, come help Bruno get out of his debt.
Everybody keeps making that joke.
Was like,
but you guys will not do my Bruno that way.
I was like, what is it?
I actually live for him when he
does well.
You know, when I'm so sad it was very short-lived, his project with Anderson .Paak.
I kind of felt like that was going to be short-lived, though.
So good.
Now, that was my vibe.
One thing about Bruno, he can make good music and partner, I feel like, with anybody.
Well, I used to love Anderson .Paak, so that I
love Anderson, too.
I think that was, I was like, oh, yes.
They complement each other so well. And I feel like Lady Gaga can do that with anybody, too, because I don't know if you saw Star is Born, but when she was having that moment with Bradley Cooper, and I listened to those two songs, too, in the morning. I have a playlist for Lady Gaga, and those are on there. Oh, my gosh. Shallow and Remember Us That Way. Oh, my gosh. Well,
are you going to cry?
No.
Dang. Thought we were going to get her, guys. I was hopeful.
And then Guess, featuring Billie Eilish by Charlie XCX. So those are my bibbity bops.
She's been in her bag this summer. Both of them. What?
I did like Lavender Sunflower by Tory Lanez. I know.
I didn't. I feel like I could cut the podcast off right now. I didn't know we were going to go that direction.
Sorry.
And for a Megan Thee Stallion fan,
no,
like a real Stallion.
Don't do that because I tried to reach out, Megan.
Where do we go? I'm gonna
Megan. I love you.
She does love you though, but she just wanted to.
It was catchy. The music took over.
Anyways.
I'm so sorry. I don't support him.
Well, I guess on that note, thank you for.
Okay, so what have you been into, Cindy? Changing the subject rapidly.
We don't support him
at all.
Yeah, I've been listening to Brokey by Lotto, and I've been having a moment.
A clip.
I'm not gonna
what
play
makes you resonate with that song?
It's just too powerful.
What calls out to you?
It's just powerful. Makes me feel like I'm in my Duffy, my bag. It makes me feel like I'm calling the shots, and that's
she's
actually
a boss, which
it
is so
kind
true.
of just sits in like the boss. It's not that I'm really sitting here like, you're broke, you're broke, you're broke, but it's just kind of funny sometimes. And in that moment, it's one of those
standards.
It's one of those jingle jangles that's just kind of like a funny one, but then like really gets you like, So that's what resonates with me.
Okay.
And then I feel like, honestly, I've been listening to a lot of Afro beats lately. Yeah, getting me prepared for some concerts and things. So I really like the song War Machine with Rema. I really like it. And so that one really gets me going when I'm like driving and whatnot. So yeah, just little things to pipe me up and put me in a good mood, make me feel powerful. That's really what it's been. And yeah, it is concert season, so I'm kind of excited to see like what comes up soon.
There's so many people on Solo Time. Lucky Day was here last
I saw
week,
that.
But it was like a
one of my friends
like
went
a
solo.
pretty booked day for me, so I was like, "There's no way I was gonna go." But
did you think about it?
I did. I almost purchased a ticket.
Yeah, he's coming. I'm trying to see. I actually would like to like look really.
Sabrina's
quick.
Coming, and I am a Sabrina Carpenter fan.
Sabrina
Her album is a bippy bop. It came out on Friday. I think that would be a lot of
fun. This one artist I really like, Ravina's coming.
I know Ravina.
Yeah, I think she's coming. She's coming with someone. I think she's coming with Tinashe, actually, and I'm not really like interested in seeing Tinashe. Sorry, Tinashe, but I would like to see Ravina. So I'm like maybe, and then Kate Trinada's coming as well in October. And then I'm seeing Thames tomorrow, so I'm ecstatic.
Are you on a Monday? Wow,
I didn't tell you. Yes, girl, I'm going to the concert on Monday night.
Monday.
Give me something something.
That's right. Life is lifing. And that's what we do.
Yeah, I want to be able to like have experiences and live my life. So I'm gonna go see Thames tomorrow. And I'm really excited. It's been on my calendar for weeks. And so the concert's at like 7. No, the concert's at like
perfect.
The concert's actually at 8. So
perfect.
I'm good. I told my cousins to come up at 7. So we're all gonna go together and like, Uber, have a time. It'll be a lot of fun. A nice little pump and start to the week. I've actually been looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh, I feel maybe you've mentioned it, but I feel like I don't know.
It came up fast. It came up really, really fast, just like all these other concerts will. So if y'all are gonna be trying to see concerts this fall,
girl, but these tickets have been a little egregious.
I know. Her ticket wasn't that bad though. I think I paid less than 60.
She was doing her thing. Less than 60?
I think I paid like less than 60, max 70.
Is it like general?
At Southside Ballroom.
Okay.
So like I kind of recognize like even though she's coming, like she is kind of technically, she's not a small artist though. She's pretty big, man. But for some, she might be still unknown because I'm like, she's gonna be at Southside, which is kind of a smaller venue. I remember when SZA came like years ago. SZA was at Southside too, which
shocking,
very shocking, but it was a great concert because it felt intimate. So I'm excited about that.
What was your last concert?
Ooh, what was my last?
Mine was Joyner Lucas. Ooh!
I think
actually, no, it wasn't. It was Victoria Monet. Wow.
Ooh, that's when I had just met you.
It was so good. I know I'll never be able to experience it again because I know those prices are going up. She's everywhere.
But maybe we go to like a festival.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been thinking like, I think I want to go see like everybody at a festival that I can't see individually because sometimes tickets just be so high. So if I'm going to pay like a high ticket price, I might as well go have an experience. The last festival I went to was in like 2018 or something like that.
Same,
so I
like
think that'd be fun.
17.
Bring back festivals, y'all. Like, actually going to them.
2016.
Paying a little bit more for like a good luxury experience. I feel like that's fun if you're a music lover. So
sister and I are gonna try to go see Usher for her birthday. But those tickets crazy.
Usher, baby.
Yeah, you see him and Victoria Monet are having a song coming out.
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh, I saw the little
I didn't
promo.
Living Under a Rock.
I was like, wow, I'd be so nervous to be up against his body like that.
She's like a pro. Like, she's ready.
I know, but like, sir, I've been following you since I was a jail.
She probably is having to like fight that within herself.
Like, she was like, and I was like, ah.
She had a whole Wusa moment, and then she went out
sweating
and she did what she had to do, like that a performer.
I couldn't do it.
I would have had to pretend he was someone else.
Oof, yikes!
My last concert if I can remember, I think I went and saw I think I saw Arya Starr, which is another like Afro beats. She's actually Afro pop, is what it is. So
Okay.
I'm an Afro pop girly, is what I'm realizing.
See.
Yeah, I like stuff like that, and also I'm like, oh, my culture, like, you know,
my culture.
who can I relate to? It's kind of nice. She's a very good performer. I saw her, I think earlier this year, actually. That was my last one.
I feel like I've heard that name.
I'll show you. She's very cute. She's getting a lot of nods lately from like Rihanna and like all the big stars. Rihanna just took her to Carnival in Barbados, actually.
What a dream, what a
Girl,
gift. What
I was just
honor.
looking at her like, now you
Could you
know you
imagine?
done come up. If Rihanna is like, I see you.
Carnival is fun.
I want to go to Carnival so bad. Like, I don't know when I'm going to, like, when that experience will happen, but that's one of those that you have to plan for, and I need to do it before I have kids.
3 years.
Yeah.
Feels realistic.
I want
3
to.
years.
I need to be shaking my ass at somebody's Carnival.
Carnival, and get the little costume, get that made and fitted, and then just like get your body right and like detox and fast.
Just feel good, feel comfortable. The thing about Carnival, though,
wild and fun.
Yeah, but the thing about like Caribbean places, like people love bodies of all,
yes.
sizes, shapes, colors, everything. So
all
like,
types.
Yes, get your body right, but right for you.
That's
and
what
like
I'm saying,
come
for you.
And come like as you are. Like they just love to celebrate like your thickness, your sexiness, your womanhood, your femininity,
your skin.
And that's why I really like being in Caribbean places, and I'm dreaming of it.
I'm literally looking for a hut in St. Thomas
to move away to.
Yeah, the only thing that I would have qualms about is driving, because it's nothing but like mountain, like it's frightening and it's narrow, and I just can't.
I would be scared. I remember, where did I go to? Damn it, I can't remember. I'm thinking, don't know, but I remember I was somewhere and like we were just driving straight up the mountain. I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about some of these experiences.
Palm Springs is like that too.
I think I was
love
in Denver.
Palm Springs, but that drive.
I've never been there.
I never forget, we had a rental. My dad was driving and he got a flat while we were on the little narrow thing, and we had to wait for hours in the heat, and it gets hot out there, but I would live there too, even though it's hot. It's just bougie.
I love bougie. Listen,
bougie's my middle name.
A whole bougie experience. Speaking of
I deserve.
Bougie, I do want to do a quick little recap of like maybe a fun thing you may have done this weekend or something. I actually have one, and I didn't get to tell you about it. So I've done a lot of fun things low-key in these last couple of days. One, I got to go to a TikTok tastemaker event with topicals.
Yes.
Loved that. I love the idea.
I didn't know it was with topicals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes
sense. They did like 3 of them, apparently. It was so much fun, and yeah, we got a lot of free products. So like, and I wanted to give you something too, by the way. I didn't bring it with me, but I will give it to you.
I love a gift.
But yeah, it was just really cool to get to meet like other creators, and like I'm a very baby creator, like up and coming, and so like just to get to be in that space was nice. Please don't please me.
She is an influencer.
She's trying to be. So getting to be in that space was really fun. You don't even like that drink. You keep drinking it. You keep buying it.
I want the benefits. Go ahead. No.
Is the okay? Okay, I'm gonna come back to you. Sorry. So that was fun, and yeah, it was just a cute time. I liked it, and it felt like, oh, these are the type of experiences
a preview
I want more of, right?
Yeah.
So I loved little reminders, little confirmations, even because when I was telling people like, okay, what do you do? Like, yes, I have a podcast. I'm also a therapist. I'm into like mental health, beauty, well-being. And people were like, oh, and I was like,
eating it up.
I need to be talking about this more. So it was a good little like move in the right direction, especially when I've been praying for direction. So like getting a little bit of like confirmations in spaces was really cool. And then something else cool happened. I paid for like a wellness event like weeks ago that my friend invited me to, and I forgot. And so it came up this weekend, and
it was yesterday?
It was yesterday. So I went yesterday morning at 11.
You had a busy day yesterday.
Yeah, kind of. Like by the time I got home, it was like 2. It wasn't that late, but like the event ended at like 1:30. I just didn't know what the hell I was going to. I literally did not know what to expect. So we pull up to this place, and I'm like, I paid $20 for this. I don't even remember what like, I don't know. Get there. They have like all these yoga mats set out. It's in a beautiful loft. Actually, the ones that I've been saying that I really liked, that I would like to move into. We will talk about that off screen. So I get there and I'm like, oh my God, beautiful bricks, beautiful like billowy like linen, like a whole vibe. So we do the yoga flow.
Wow,
And then she has like gifts for us, like little snacks, stickers. Then, bitch, I got a massage. I got like a chair massage. I was like, what just happened? I did not know it was going to be this.
Gift.
And she was probably the best massage I've ever had in my entire life.
Really?
Which then was like, oh my God, I have not been doing wellness right. Like, yes, I've been giving like little moments of wellness. Like I did go for a lymphatic drainage massage a couple weeks ago, which I didn't really love at the time. So it's like, okay, trying to figure out like who are your practitioners and stuff.
Yeah.
So like when she was like doing it, when she was like doing it, I was just like in awe of like how much tension was
limber you are.
Yes. And then afterwards she was like, do you sit at a desk often? Like, what do you do? I was like, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
But
desk,
also,
chair.
Yeah.
Couch.
But also I'm talking a lot. And I'm holding in a lot of emotions from everybody.
That's real.
And I noticed even sometimes I feel a lot of tension like up here on my back. And then I feel it like on my lower back. And I was telling her that those were my tension spots. And you know that like even the stress that you feel vicariously, like you store it yourself. So I think that's kind of
hips,
like
your shoulders and your jaw too, like the clenching.
That's why whenever you're doing like meditations or things, are always like release your tongue from the roof of your mouth and right, like somatic, like kind of trying to like allow you to kind of de-stress in that moment. So like it was just really cool for me to kind of like feel relief. And then when I got home, I had like a lot of energy, which is why I was like cleaning a little bit. I got the rug in. My friend gave me a rug that matched perfectly with my apartment. I just felt like I was in a receiving mode of like really good things. And like I just felt like I could do more. I finally got my birthday invitations out, like did some of the things I wanted to do. Like, so yeah, that was kind of like the highlight of my weekend. Like those two things brought me some good energy and hopefully moving me. Yeah, hopefully setting the week and reminding me that like I'm bigger than just a 9 to 5.
I'm telling you, those reminders, we gotta have them. I didn't do anything this weekend. I feel like my exciting weekend was last weekend. I went to a self-care party and got a foot massage, got a facial. Casually. A heated foot massage. Ooh. They had a body massage. It was like $2 a minute. No, ma'am. And then I got a facial. We made a fragrance. It was at Black Lounge, Candle Black Lounge. Candle Lounge. It's Black people. And she also said people can work there. She says she works there throughout the week, so like people go there to like work. It's a really nice location. And then, oh my gosh, I finally got a vitamin shot. So I've been like looking at IV therapy and stuff like that for years and just never committed. But they had like discounted vitamin shots. I wanted vitamin D because I'm just deficient in that, but they didn't have it because she said they need to keep it refrigerated. So I got a B12 shot. When I tell you,
she was off the walls with energy.
I think it's weaning off. I started to realize that maybe around like Thursday, Friday.
But that lasted like a whole week.
She said it could last up to 3 weeks for some people. iCryo had called me at work. Oh yeah. And they have vitamin shots, so I'm gonna get one, probably a different blend. And then I got a lipo shot. It's not real lipo, but it's like a skinny shot, and it has like B12 and other things that help with like energy, so you can like work out, but then also it helps with like cravings, appetite, making sure you sleep well, so it kind of helps with that. So I feel like,
I think it also said it like broke down fat a little, helped you break down fat a
little
faster.
Said some people could lose 1 to 2 pounds. I haven't gotten on the scale because the scale is the devil to me. But I did feel like in my hot sculpt classes, I was like, like
energy.
Flying. And everybody in the class, like the director in every class was like, okay, Candace, I see you every day of the week. Okay, Candace, I see you getting grown. I was like, like getting it,
I'm
like
cantankerous, y'all.
lighting.
Yeah.
So it works. So I want to incorporate that into my regimen, and they're not that expensive. I got 2 vitamin shots for $50. The IVs are more expensive.
I think I do need a nice little B12 something. Like that would probably help out a little bit,
some
especially
iron, something to help with sleep.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been very much so not doing the best on my vitamins lately. Like,
really?
Yeah, I think I've fallen out of routine with a lot of things for myself. Kind of going into like my own boundaries. When I stopped taking care of myself, and
when did that start though? Because I felt like you were in the season of starting. So when did that stop?
When did me taking vitamins stop?
Yeah, because you were all into like, what I digest
my collagen?
and ingest. Yeah.
I still do my collagen.
So when you
started
why did
I forget everything else?
You said this is just going to be the holder for
I forgot everything else.
Okay.
Low key going to Nigeria, like because I took my stuff with me, but then I wasn't really diligent. And now that I've come back, like I only probably remember to take my collagen. I did start last week though. Like, okay, Cindy, like you need to get off that.
Yeah.
Get back to your multivitamins, your probiotics.
Yeah.
Like I don't take a lot of stuff. I take vitamin D and then collagen. So I kind of started incorporating things back last week again.
Sure.
But it's time for just let's start fresh and begin again.
A restart.
Yeah. I think I'm just in a reset space.
I
right
love
now,
that.
Period.
No such thing as, too late to reset, honey.
Yeah, and you can always begin again. But I noticed it, I think, when, I don't know, just like, yes, we're talking routines, boundaries, like things that kind of just started to like not really be there. And now I'm rebuilding all of those. So that's what I noticed.
Okay. Rebuilding boundaries.
Why are you smiling like that?
Girl, because I live. I feel like as soon as I set my boundaries, the boundary that I needed to set with the person that I need to set it with, doors have been opening.
I do think so, because we haven't really
manna.
We have not.
It does feel like manna.
What is manna?
Like blessings from God.
Oh,
Manna?
Please cut it out, because if I'm supposed to know that, now I'm embarrassed. No, tell me. I've never heard that term.
Manna?
No.
M-A-N-A. And some people like refer to like food. Manna.
It almost sounded like manifest.
Manna, according to the Bible. It's a substance that people eat. But people call manna like blessings. Manna, blessings?
Yeah, just type it in again.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah, type it in again.
I went to Sunday school. I actually taught Sunday school for years.
Wow.
Blessings of manna. Oh, manna was a blessing.
What is the blessing of manna?
The bread of heaven.
Okay, well, you were on the right track.
Well, girl, it feels like the bread of heaven to me.
Yeah, let's say you were on the right track. It sounds
and that's
like.
that on that.
And that's a blessing, baby.
The stuff that was weighing me down, now I'm being catapulted into my
And you look lighter.
I feel lighter.
I don't know, your eyes are sparkling.
Girl.
It's like I'm falling in love with you all over again.
You're so cute.
I meant it.
Oh,
No,
I feel that.
Like, it's a different light of you. Mm-hmm. Although last week my light was dim, but at least
but that was intentional. God was like, let me make sure.
Oh my God. I don't think I can take any more of
those. We
both
can't be in the stupor.
I don't think we can take any more of those.
I was like, Cindy.
Is everything okay?
And Cindy not gonna tell you. I'm fine. And I'm like,
I won't say anything until I figure it out.
Are you, Cindy? Because you're literally slugging around.
I think I wore black all week, basically.
There was no color, no light, a little bit of isolation.
I'm wearing green today.
I know that. Yeah.
Abundance.
Her light's back, honey. Sometimes it's just a little, we got to change out the bulb.
Yeah. Do a little real quick and just come on back, okay? Shake it up, let it settle. Like, what's going on? Things are good.
Yeah.
But I love hearing that. Like, okay, so you've been able to focus on your boundaries during the time that you needed, and now, like, doors are opening up because you listened to yourself.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm the one stopping myself. I'll never forget. I had called my friend Autumn. I was really upset about a man treating me wrong. And I was like, I just can't believe he would do this to me. I said, she was like, but he didn't. You allowed him to do that. Ooh. And I was like, hello?
Quiet as a mouse.
And that always stuck with me. And every time I'm like, I'm letting him do this. So I'm like, bye. And like, really bye. Like, really. And when I tell you I'm not going to mess up, like, this is real. It's not what's it called? The Boy Who Cried Wolf. This is very real. So I feel it in my body.
I love it.
A toxin has been released.
Literally a waste.
A parasite cleanse.
I am happy about that. So like, I think for me, I'm still kind of I've worked on a lot of different types of boundaries with myself, but I think the people that push my boundaries the most are the ones that are closest to me.
I know.
And it's okay. It's not.
Especially when it's family, that's rough.
It
like
usually
it's
is.
Family.
Yeah, it usually is for me. And so, like, I'm kind of in a place where I have to recognize how to strengthen my boundaries while also, still honoring that my family may not be there to understand it.
Yeah.
And then also not feel guilt about that, because I feel guilty all the time sometimes when it comes to, like, saying no or not being able to show up for people in the way that I want to. It doesn't mean that I won't show up for you ever. But in this time, I don't have the capacity. And lately, I haven't had much of a capacity. And so, like, I think, when you realize that, like Candrace mentioned slugging around, because I was, or you realize that, like, you're forgetting things or you're not really having enough time to, check off your own boxes, like, you're probably violating your own boundaries. And, like, boundaries are not meant to really keep people out. I feel like when people hear the word boundaries, they get so, like, offended.
Those are barriers. Barriers are supposed to prevent access to you, but boundaries are meant to, like, protect you
and keep you safe.
You safe.
Meant to keep you safe.
Balanced.
In control.
Mindful.
Yeah. All of those things. And so
they're hard.
They are hard because they also kind of like ebb and flow. They're rigid, they're porous, and then sometimes they're in between, right?
Yeah.
Where you're not necessarily able to like really identify like what it is or how to implement them. So for the next couple minutes, we kind of just want to talk about
boundaries.
Boundaries. Okay.
We actually took a quiz.
The things we love to hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
And they change with you and they change with relationships. Like, they're not always just going to be the same. So that's why you have to really be in tune with yourself.
Fendi facts.
But yeah, we took a little quiziana. To be honest, the older I get, I realize, like, the way my brain works, neurodivergent, I can't answer like very like certain questions. My mind doesn't work that way because I'm like, but like it's not that concrete, Like,
well, sometimes it's
yes,
like
no.
you want to be in like you are probably operating in like a gray area, the in between. But that's why even with like being a therapist, we tell our client to choose the best fit answer.
Girl, I can't do that. I'm over.
I'd be telling my clients choose the best. I told this to your parent the other day. I was like, choose the best fit answer. Doesn't mean that it's going to be the completely like answer that results like resonates with your soul, but just choose the best fit for now. And it's probably going to change in another 2 weeks. Let's be realistic. So like, yeah, we took this like little quiz that I found online. I thought it was cute. Boundaries quiz from Nidra Tawab. So she's a boundaries expert, and I think she's also a licensed clinical social worker.
I love that, a boundaries expert. I know that's right.
She's very cool. Has a book on boundaries out right now. And I feel like a lot of people resonate with her. So actually my results came as me having like healthy boundaries.
Me too.
Which this is just a quiz. And to be honest,
right, 18 questions.
You only know me from the 18 questions because if I was to really tell myself, I would say that like at times I have healthy boundaries, but at times I have porous boundaries. And I just kind of like let people through, So I'm not going to lie about that. But let's go ahead and talk about, I guess, like rigid, porous, and healthy boundaries.
This is like one of my favorite activities to do with my clients. Because I don't think people realize the different types of boundaries.
Right. And
they just hear it and they're like, oh, no, I'm like in one box. But when you like describe what it looks like, they're like, oh, wait.
I'm in all of these. I'm in all of these. I felt all of these before.
So I guess I'll read rigid and you can read porous.
Well, I guess first we can even start with kind of like figuring out like what are personal boundaries.
Okay, well, the paper says Personal boundaries are the limits and rules we set for ourselves within relationships. A person with healthy boundaries can say no to others when they want to, but they are also comfortable opening themselves up to intimacy in close relationships. So it's not, a lot of people think a boundary is like saying no, but also like, are you able to let people in? Are you able to say yes to some things, you know? Because it can be, it's a spectrum. So you could be on the other side. So a person who keeps others at a distance, whether emotionally, physically, or otherwise, is said to have rigid boundaries. Alternatively, someone who tends to get too involved with others has porous boundaries. Porous like a sponge.
Right. Things are just seeping through.
Just seeping through.
Okay. So here's some traits of people who have rigid, porous, and healthy boundaries. So rigid boundaries typically avoid intimacy in close relationships. They're very unlikely to ask for help, have a few close relationships, very protective of personal information, may seem detached, even with their romantic partners, and they keep others at a distance to avoid the possibility of rejection. So some that may even have like rigid boundaries, that can even go into like, we're talking about like avoidant attachment styles, you know what I mean? So if you're listening and you kind of heard some of those things and you've also recognized that you may be dealing with an avoidant attachment style or an avoidant partner, you may notice some of those things. And people who've experienced trauma may fall into rigid boundaries as well, or even porous. So, right, it can be either side. So a person with porous boundaries, they overshare personal information, have difficulty saying no to the request of others. They're over involved with others' problems, dependent on the opinions of others, accepting of abuse and disrespect, and they also fear rejection if they do not comply with what other people want. Porous is a hard one for me because I feel like I don't necessarily resonate with it, but there are moments where I'll care a little bit too much about what someone else maybe may think, which then affects like whatever decision I have. So then in that moment, right, I'm experiencing me having like porous boundaries instead of just staying firm with like my own beliefs. And then healthy boundaries, you value your own opinions, which we love. You don't compromise values for others. You share personal information in an appropriate way, but you don't overshare or undershare. You know your personal wants and needs and can communicate them and accept when others say no to them. So I feel like if you're kind of leaning in any of these, it doesn't necessarily mean you're bad or good. It just means that maybe you need some more development on your own personal boundaries and like, what does it mean for you?
Right.
People have a mix of different boundary types as well. So like someone could have healthy boundaries at work. Okay. Right. Like keeping a distance.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's flipped, right? And they have like porous boundaries at work. Or maybe they have porous boundaries in their romantic relationships and then a mix of all three within their family, which I feel like I kind of tend to fall into, like in my own family dynamics. Like if I don't share enough, now I'm being too rigid. If I share too much, now it's like, okay, what do you want me to do about it? Or it becomes like a family thing. And it's like, well, I need to just focus on it, you know? I just wanted to vent, you know? So it's like people trying to figure out like, how can they help you? How can they do this? And then also, how can I tell you how to do it better? Which is like, oh, I just wanted to share. I didn't necessarily need you to come fix it. So it can kind of be a lot of different things. And I feel like also culturally, right? People have different views and expectations when it comes to boundaries. So,
oh my gosh.
What do you have to say? Something pop up?
So I would say like growing up, my boundaries with my family were very porous. And now they're healthy and they're my boundaries. So for me, it's healthier because I have an understanding now and I've just shed some of these inherited beliefs that I have. But I think culturally, since my parents are hyper religious, like there are things that were taught in the Bible of like, okay, well, you're supposed to obey your parents and things like that. What they say goes without like arguing against that, or at least stating like your opinion is just like, oh, they're your parents, so you have to agree. And so when I was younger, I just thought that was the way. But as I got older and had my own perspectives and views and just like kind of grew more and took like classes and I went on this route for like psychology and therapy, I was like, oh, I need to unmesh from some
Girl,
of these things.
I'm still enmeshed. Like, I'm separate, but in some ways still enmeshed.
It's rough, honey.
And I'm the oldest. So I struggle with kind of just like all of these different emotions of everybody, and then trying to be able to separate myself. And then also trying to, like, you know, be the big sister, be an example. No, I'm not perfect. There's like so many different things. So I feel like boundaries is like one of those things, one of those areas of my own personal development that I'm still like struggling with, to be honest. Like saying no.
Just say no. Just say no.
It's
That's
one of
the
my
only way to go.
hardest things.
Oh, it was for me too. For
Like,
the longest.
Because I just feel so bad not being able to show up for people in the way that I want to, right? Or the way that I'm expected
I don't want to hurt people's feeling. I don't
want to hurt anybody, and I don't want anyone to feel like I don't give a damn about them. I think, like, you know what I mean? Like, something about being the oldest and not necessarily ever having that one person to kind of like lean on, you know, was like me then deciding that I had to be that person for everybody else because I didn't want anyone to feel the way that I felt.
That's
and now,
so interesting because I feel that way as the baby.
That's interesting. And I feel like, I don't know. But you also, I think, when I think about you, I think because of your education and knowledge, like, it's kind of flipped a little bit when it comes to like emotional intelligence, which probably makes you kind of feel like you're, you know, parentified or adultified in that type of way, right?
Yeah.
On an island
providing
by
support, but where's mine?
And that's how I
Just
feel.
Looking and searching.
Yeah, I can't ever find it. So I feel like we'll definitely chat more about
even
that.
in friendships.
I've had to teach so many people like the right way to be able to respect my own boundaries, and I'm still doing it, and it hasn't really
I'm still on the job.
And it hasn't really worked out too well, you know what I mean?
No.
But I will say that like boundaries are forever developing, and if you're in a relationship, know that like your boundaries are going to change. Like with a person, friendship, relationship, parent, child relationship, your boundaries are always going to change. So just be open and be in a place where you can really fully identify what they are. That's in order for you to figure out who you are, you got to identify your wants and needs, and then also how that affects your boundaries.
Okay.
Gots to do it.
Wow, we will. So when we took the test, she also gave a great resources of 8 tips of how to kind of correct or improve or set healthy boundaries.
Sure.
So the first one is identify areas where you are exhausted, resentful, or angry. Check in with your core values. Oh my gosh, I tell people all the time, like, there's no such thing as a hard decision where you know where your values lie. So, like, you need to figure out what your values are, not the inherited ones, the ones that resonate with you. And those should be at the foundation of everything, your relationships, your choices. When you know what's like a core value for you, like, it's going to be easier for you to kind of like weed out things. Then define boundary. So what do you not want to hear, see, or do? Trust your intuition. Oh my gosh, we talked about discernment in the last episode, but
and we will keep talking about it.
Girl, because do you know how many things I could have avoided if I just, please.
And sometimes discernment isn't loud. Like sometimes you really have to like listen to your spirit and have to be in tune with your own emotions and self to be able to hear it. And if you're not allowing yourself to be in tune because you're running around or doing so much for other people, then you're not going to be able to actually hear what, you know, your innermost self wants you to do or not do.
And especially if you're not valuing it. Oh, well, I'm just going to put that off to the side.
Right. You kind of blocked it for yourself.
Intentionally.
Now the message can't even come through.
So moments of I feel it in my gut. Something doesn't feel quite right. Intuition tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Okay? What you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
I feel like I need to read this next one.
Ooh, say it, girl.
Say no.
Just say no. Just say no.
Say no.
It's the only way to go.
Okay. Don't apologize or give long explanations. You will dilute the power of your no. Don't lie. Lying will most likely lead to guilt or anxiety, and I felt both.
It's giving fast skills. Don't over apologize.
Okay, period. I do think so.
Well.
Be assertive. Be calm. And I like talking about being assertive because I feel like some people get
assertive and aggressive
confused.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
especially as Black women.
Right. And it's like, you can be assertive. You can say no. You don't have to be like, overly apologetic about it.
Yeah.
It is just what it is. And it doesn't mean that you're being aggressive because you asked for something.
Hello?
Yeah. So calm and polite. Pay attention to people's reactions. If someone gets upset about you setting a boundary, it's more evidence that a boundary was needed. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So define consequences as well and address boundary violations early. So if you're in a relationship with someone and you're needing to come up with a boundary, and if this boundary gets crossed, you need to be very specific about what the consequences are. This friendship is going to end, right? I mean, it's true. This relationship may end.
Honoring them. Yeah.
We may have to spend less time together because you're choosing to not understand me and my wants and my needs. Things like that, or with a family member, right? If you keep crossing this boundary, you keep, let me think of something like with kids, right? Like if you keep spanking Sally, she's not going to come over anymore.
How to parent my kid.
Or you're telling me how to parent, then I can't bring Sally over anymore because I feel uncomfortable. And now like that relationship is going to be limited. So being able to recognize like when someone puts a boundary up, it's important for them to respect it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then letting go of guilt, okay? Your no may empower the other person to take responsibility or make better choices instead of enabling them to keep doing what they're doing. And you were the last one.
Use support. If someone is abusive or crossing boundaries, talk to a therapist, mentor, life coach, or read a book on setting boundaries. Always have a support system. I think that's like something that you should already know, like who's in your circle and who you can go to for certain things, because you can't go to everybody for everything. But also like be wise about who's your support, like who you're letting in.
I feel like that one takes a little bit longer though for people to learn, just because like
not everybody's your friend.
Not everybody's going to be your friend,
or
and
not
also
everybody's going to give you healthy feedback.
And people start to like weed themselves out as you age. So let's say someone could be listening right now who's like 16. Your friend group may look completely different by the time you're 30, 35.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it's a good time for you to just be able to like start recognizing like the traits that you don't like, and kind of allowing those people to kind of, kick themselves off the roster of friendship. Because friendships, relationships, things like that, you want people who can pour into you.
That
and
is
when
so real.
You bring something up about boundaries, right? It doesn't become like a slap in the face, because that's the worst. And it's usually because people don't want to hear you. But we have to be real. Like everybody has their own boundaries and limitations. And if you've been in friendships or relationships that have consistently violated your boundaries, and now you're putting a boundary up that's very clear and explicit and they're uncomfortable, well, that's on them. They can either choose to lean in.
Right, that's on them. That has nothing to do with
Right, they can either choose to lean in and understand why, or they're going to retract. And if they need to get out, if they need to pack up their bags and go, let them.
There's the door.
Let them go.
Skedaddle.
Peace, okay? Because we don't need that type of energy in our lives, and we're moving forward, and we're trying to be lighter, okay? Losing the dead weight. Sorry to say it. Gotta go.
Wow, we will.
It is what it is. But in the same kind of conversation, there are 7 types of boundaries.
Oh my gosh, I love this conversation too.
Yeah, there's so many
more
kinds.
Than just emotional.
Yes, there's physical, there is emotional, there's sexual, there's time boundaries,
intellectual,
spiritual, financial. That's a big one. Cultural as well.
Ooh,
I mean, there's so many different types of boundaries that exist, and it's not just about like saying no in one way, right? There are things even like financially, right? Recognizing like how much are you willing to give? How much can you give? How much time can you give to someone, right? How much time do you have in your week to be able to provide to others? So, like, if you ain't got that much time, don't be trying to make it,
honey. Just to appease others.
Right. So, like, even when we think about, like, time kind of boundaries. So, time boundaries are limits we set around how we spend our time. So, it's a big one, especially difficult for, like, I think a lot of us when we think that we can show up for everybody else. let me speak for myself. When I think I can show up for everyone else.
I think that's big for work too.
Yeah, like even like working, just projects and things like that. So like, you know, here's just an example of how to set that boundary. So like, I have therapy personally every Friday at 9. I've protected that time. Thank you, God. And sometimes I wish I had even a little bit more time though, because I hop off at 10 and I have to go straight into a meeting.
Right into a meeting.
But I do let them know, like, hey, I'm going to be a little late. And that's just what it is. Every Friday, I'm coming off of therapy. If it's a heavy session, I'm going to need like a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes to be able to process like whatever I just talked about. I don't want to go right into like a whole different wave, you know? So my time is protected 9 a.m. on Fridays.
Shifted.
Right. My time is protected 9 a.m. on Fridays for my therapy time to be able to really just have this time. I don't answer texts during that time. I don't answer calls.
Right.
I'm very present I try to be present with myself and my therapist because this is my 1 hour where I kind of just have to answer to me and her, and we're just getting into the work of my life, you know?
I agree.
And development. So that's a time boundary I have. Like, no matter what it is, like, I'm going to go to my session. More than likely, unless, you know, something happens. But
Girl,
I try to protect that
first
time.
And foremost.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I have to, the one that I'm working on is I will look at my phone and look at work stuff before I'm on the clock. And so it's a trauma response. Yeah, it's a trauma response. Like the working, like the high work ethic, that's a trauma response. But like I just like to get stuff out of the way. But now I'm kind of protecting my time. Like, no, before work is for me. I'm not on the clock. I'm not getting paid. And low key after work too. Sorry.
High key. If I've clocked out, I'm done. Unless something pertinent comes up. But to be honest, it's okay. You know what I mean? Unless it's a life or death situation, I'm not moving that far, babes.
And I have a bedtime.
Yeah, got to get into routines and just like be able to show up best for myself, my clients, my family, my relationships. I got to do that with my own routine and my own boundaries. So yeah, I'm glad because I have been thinking about that for you.
Girl, I stopped. I'm still getting out of hot sculpt. I'm drinking a smoothie. I'm la-ti-da-di-da. Like, I'll see you when I get on the light.
That's how I want my brain to feel like that before.
The message will still be there, and if people decide to make some extreme decisions before I say anything, that's on, because I try to prevent that, because I feel like things move so quick.
That's not our fault, though.
And not my responsibility.
Yeah,
so
not our fault, not our problem.
You guys can have a whole thought process while I'm vibing in
and
my
that's
kitchen.
in like any workspace, right? Like I think whether you are working a regular, like a corporate 9 to 5 something,
everywhere,
like, or you know you're creative, working on projects, teachers, like I think we all have that like urgency, right? To where others have placed on us. And so we feel like we have to, because if we don't, then okay, XYZ person wasn't responding. This decision was already made. I got left out of it. Okay. Like at that point, it's like, well, it's is what it is.
So real.
If someone made a bad decision in the 30 minutes that you didn't respond, or the hour that you used to take care of yourself, well, that was on them.
That's on them, and it was a decision I had nothing to do with. But my old supervisor, Miss Anastasia, used to always say, your urgency is not my emergency. And child, I always think about that, but do I apply it? No. But I'm applying it now. Like, if y'all want to move that quick,
I kind of do think about that often, though. I do not be moving quick for anybody, low key. At least, no, that's a good one I do. I sit with
good one.
I sit with that one. I feel like I'm pretty good with even if I'm like, you know, I'm better now than when it comes to boundaries, like communicating like, hey, I'm going to be late to something, especially with the type of work that I do. Like sometimes my brain space on the weekends, I have 3 days to myself, really. Barely. So
Friday
like,
don't really too much count.
It really is like a half day. Yeah. So it's like by the time like I'm mentally winding down from everything that I have taken in from others, plus family, plus friends in the week, I struggle with being able to like, okay, switch gears into something else, which has made me late to places, and I think people have gotten upset. So now I just kind of have to I communicate better, because I know it's something I'm still working on, but also like there can be grace, you know, in spaces, and people have to kind of release control, especially if you're already kind of taking ownership. So if you know your boundaries, just make sure you take ownership over it, and it is what it is right now. But like, what about emotional relationship boundaries? I feel like Emotional boundaries protect your right to fit your own feelings and thoughts without criticism or dismissiveness from others.
Yeah.
Something that comes up for me is like, why are you looking like that?
Sorry.
What type of flashback were you having?
I had so many.
What was that?
No,
like,
you
where
go.
Did she go,
I'm
guys?
back here, guys.
Where did she go?
She went back in time. I'm back.
No, me too though, because like I'm thinking dating. What? What's going on? These people, guys. Sometimes people like feel more entitled to your emotions.
Girl.
And like energy
and your time.
And I feel like emotional boundaries are all about like kind of recognizing what you want to share. Like, are we going to be porous with our boundaries and like overshare, or can we kind of have a balance, right? Be healthy about it. Take your time to get to know somebody. That's when emotional boundaries for me like kind of come into play. Like, it's okay for me to have some things that are protected to myself, and it's also okay to be vulnerable and recognize who you can be vulnerable with. I think sometimes it's earned depending on like the level of it. Like, let's say you meet someone. What is going on over there?
Girl,
I have to ask because like she's
getting pulled into
like
the past.
Reminiscing on something, guys. And I need to know
No. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm just sunken place was coming.
You felt it. You were like,
I really did. I felt myself slowly going into the crevices of this couch.
Do you think that's like based off of like thinking about past experience? Candra's legs are shaking. Oh my God.
Finish your thought, Cindy. I'm here.
Do you think, oh, thank you for being grounded. Do you think that like, yeah, do you think that like when you think of like emotional boundaries, like you think of times where you've had to like violate your own? Is that what's coming up?
So I'm gonna be very blunt.
Oh, okay.
I attract or allow people who don't even have boundaries for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, their expectations and entitlement is just insane because of it's a projection. Since they don't have, it's willy-nilly for them, they expect me to be willy-nilly. And the people-pleasing and codependency and the fixing used to allow that. I'm not there anymore, but ooh, girl.
Times when you were
dark.
I used to struggle with codependency as well. And like
I grew up in it.
People. You know what? I really wasn't the one probably codependent growing up. I don't even know how I want to talk about that.
I definitely seen it. I seen it and I didn't realize it. I think it clicked for me that, oh my gosh, my family is codependent. My parents are codependent. Because I was doing a chemical dependency group. And we were talking about codependency and how that ties into usually individuals who have like a sick family member, addiction, something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh. Been a codependent
you
household.
Recognized it.
And that's why it showed up so much in my relationships and how I was the enabler.
You were the enabler? Why do you feel like you were the enabler?
I enabled a lot of negative behavior in my romantic relationship.
Okay, because you were shown that.
And I think I enabled some negative behavior in my family.
It cut out when you said that. Can you repeat?
I think I enabled, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to call it negative, unhealthy behavior because I thought it was normal.
Yeah. And you probably were shown that it was, right?
It was a norm.
Because that's what, I would, mine is just different. Mine's not necessarily codependency. I think people were dependent on me early. So it wasn't necessarily like we were all dependent on, no, we were dependent on
friendships,
Yeah, friendships are a little different, but in my family dynamic, I've been called like the anchor of my family.
Ooh!
That's very strong, right? Like
anchor.
Very deep. And I think like it was meant to be a compliment. But like looking back, it doesn't feel like one.
The peacemaker.
Yeah, like all of those things like were low-key
supposed
really
to be an honor and a privilege.
Heavy, right? Like that you were the one person But then I was like, dang, I'm the one person who violates her boundaries the most because I want to show up for everybody in my family and continue to be this anchor that I was told that I am. And I think that was probably the most painful. I'm still in it, where like I recognize that like, okay, I don't want to have that title, but everyone looks at me as that.
Yeah. And what happens when you break from that?
And I've broke a lot. And then I kind of found myself going into this like functional freeze, which I just learned about most recently.
Really? Maybe they talk about it on TikTok all the time.
I saw it from this girl, the Cognitive Corner.
I know her.
Yeah, the somatic therapist.
Yeah.
I actually really like her.
Patootie.
Very cute girl. But like she talks a lot about functional freeze. And I'm like, wow, I've been in that state for a while because I've been the anchor who broke. So yeah, guys, it's just a very interesting space when you've been taught to like violate your boundaries and like that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
To be able to have these like deep relationships. That's your role. I want to give y'all the definition of what being in functional freeze means.
Girl, and the example is because I guarantee you a lot of you guys are doing it.
Yeah, isn't that so crazy? Okay, so functional freeze is more subtle. It leads you to carry on with life while feeling emotionally frozen. So we become numb to our emotions, sensations, and needs.
Been there.
As a result of overwhelm, chronic stress, or emotional exhaustion. So imagine you've been feeling all these things for years and you're growing up in a family dynamic that treats it as normal. You get stuck. And it's so crazy because like my Instagram name is like Unstuck Sin. And I made it at a time where I was feeling more unstuck, like during COVID. Like I had done all of my own like personal work and I was like, wow, I was getting these huge bursts of energy and like different ideas.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like one of those who benefited. I benefited from the isolation a little bit. And then I was like, okay, Unstuck Sin. Like, and I kind of thought in my brain, like a part of my therapeutic dynamic was going to be helping to others to become unstuck. And then in this past like year or so, I just kind of started finding myself back in this like freeze mode. And recently in the last couple of weeks, I just got terminology for it. And I didn't realize that I've just been operating in this way for a long time as a way to cope. And my body was just storing everything. And I couldn't even move.
Yeah.
Some of the things that will happen when you're in functional freeze is like doom scrolling. Like you're just on your phone for hours. Can't even get up out of your couch. And I realized you remember when I told you I kept falling asleep
on the couch?
Yes.
My sister does that.
Scary. So, sorry, excuse me.
It's coming up.
The cranberry juice. I definitely want us to get more into this, but maybe not in this episode.
Yeah, that's a whole epi.
I feel like kind of talking more about like the parentified adult, child, all of that will come in our next episode. So if y'all want to continue to hear more, there's definitely going to be more of a conversation. But I think today, just kind of giving y'all some psychoeducation about boundaries.
And opening up a conversation.
So, Candrace, which boundary, I guess, would you say now you're kind of in the space of being able to protect the most?
All of them.
Oh,
all of them. I'm not. It's like when people ask you, "What's your love language?" All of them. I want them all.
All of them. Yup.
I'm not choosing off this list. All of them.
What do you think has been like maybe the best that you've been able to like strengthen though? I gotta look it up for myself too. What have you done the best in most recently?
Oh, that's hard.
Is that?
I don't know because I feel like all of them.
It can be all of them. Maybe what's the one you notice the most?
Maybe time.
Okay.
Time is of the essence. So, and I feel like the time ties into the emotional, but
that's
like
true.
When I get off work. So back in the day, I used to talk to my parents like 6 or 7 times a day. And I had to let them know, like, I talk all day. When I get home, I just need to be I just need quiet. I just need a moment to be to myself, focus on myself. And it took them a while to receive that because I think, the hurting the feelings, stuff that we get scared about. Like, I think they took it personally. Like, what do you mean you don't have time to talk to your mom and your dad? And they just want to be so involved and know what's going on. And I think if they don't hear from me, they instantly think like, oh my gosh, something's wrong. And it's like, actually, everything's right.
Yeah, I just need a moment,
Just need a moment to be in the silence and dark. But they've started to respect that. And so instead of us like talking all the time, they'll just like shoot me a daily text in the morning and evening. We're getting there.
Okay. I mean, my mom calls me every day at like 7:45.
Every day.
Yeah, and usually that's the time when I'm
I'll
starting
pick up,
to...
but I'll keep it brief. Maybe 2. Hi, guys. Great. Love you.
See, I'm still struggling because I like talking to my mom. Like, I like being able to check in with her, too. It's just bad timing. I'm like, I'm actually so tired. And every day I tell her, Mom, I'm so tired. And she's like, what for?
Right.
And I'm like, that's when we're kind of like going like this because she doesn't, like, even though her job is physically taxing, mine is emotionally taxing. And so, like, she'll be tired, too, but it's a different way. And I'm tired because I'm like, I just kind of gave everything I had today. Girl. And I don't have much. Squeezed. And now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to eat for dinner because I did that meal prep. And
now
I
have to actually take care of myself.
Yeah, I have to like use these last bit of hours I have in the day. Damn. To get my shit together. You know what I mean?
That's so real.
So then I feel bad when I have to like, rush her off the phone. But we've already spoke for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So was it really a rush? Me and my mom were chatting. Okay, we're gabbing. Like, you think I'm yapping. Where did I get it from? You know what I mean? So it's like... I'm still working on it. I am still trying to figure out, like, how do I do this without offending folks and also making sure they know that I love them. It's just like I'm trying to, have more time for me so I can show up in the best way because no one sees, like, the other side, right? When you don't, they just see what you show them. And, yeah, I don't want to be in that spot anymore.
You know what my sister does? She sets an appointment time for my parents when to talk to them. So they have a day in the week that's set for them to talk. And then she's like, I actually have stuff to talk to them about. And it's like more productive instead of us just like talking to be talking. And so like it's like on a Wednesday or a Thursday, a day for my mom and a day for my dad. And it's like their weekly call. And it's for an hour, sometimes a little bit longer.
Well, Olive did a good job with that because I feel like that's her setting her time boundaries. So at least she can still have the conversation and not feel guilty, right? Not feel guilty about like adulting and not being able to feel like you have time for them. Because I do feel guilt in that way, right? And that's kind of
She felt guilty about it too for a while, but she was like, I have to. And she felt mainly guilty because she lived out of state longer than I did. So she was like, there's all this time that I missed with them and they're getting older. So I can't just be like, oh, I'm not going to talk to you. Like I need to still spend time with them, but I need to set a boundary in that way. So they have a set time and then we're working on having a set day to spend with them.
I love it. It's very sweet and appropriate and healthy more than anything.
We're growing each and every day.
Okay.
I love that.
I do too. So I guess to kind of like, wrap up the conversation. I'm thinking like we're starting a new week and I'm sure all of you guys are too, or if you're not, you're starting a new week soon.
Yeah.
I'm wondering like what is one practice that you want to focus on more this week to be able to strengthen your boundaries, your self-protection, your time, your energy, all the things. Take a moment to think about it because I got to think about it too.
Just continue to set boundaries at work. I think I've gotten better, but I don't like saying I'm an emotional person, but I'm an empath. Like I feel things and I
Why don't you like saying you're an emotional person?
I feel like it has a negative connotation to it. Some people hear emotional and think like hysterical, unstable. And it's really like, no, I just have a bunch of emotions and I feel every single one.
I feel like we're all emotional. Well, we all can be emotional people.
But I like feel emotions intensely. I don't want to say I'm a righteous person, but I do like right and wrong. And I just like be shooketh when people do wrong. And it really bothers
it throws
me.
your whole mood.
It throws my whole mood to the point like I want to cry. Like it's like I'm upset.
Yeah.
I'm just like shocked at people's behavior. And I'm just learning to just give that to God. Like he's gonna work that out, and it has nothing to do with me. Like at the end of the day, I'm protected, and I do my job, and nobody can deny that. The numbers say what they say, like, so I can't be clocked in that way. But I just am learning to give things like he's going to handle it, give things to God. So I'm trying to have less, like, to manage my energy more, like an energy boundary in regards to like what I'm gonna let impact me or not. But I think a lot of that is just giving it to God.
Energy boundary.
Yeah, budgeting my energy. Like, you're not gonna get that from me because it will throw my mood.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And Cindy will be like, "No, you can't let that impact your mood the rest of the day." I was like, "Actually, I can. I will pack.
Actually,
I'll be a sourpuss if you want."
Yeah, but sometimes I feel like
that's
that
not for
just
me to carry.
It's not, and then now you carry it, and it took way more energy.
And it's
for
not
you.
for me to carry. It's literally not for me, and that's not even my character. It's like I didn't even do it, but I just really be shocked by people's behavior.
Yeah, but I think being in toxic environments, you can't be shocked because people are just gonna like.
I'm always gonna be shocked.
Well, it's valid to be shocked, but don't be surprised, high key, because like we've seen it before.
I don't even know if I'd be surprised. It's just like I'd be let down. I'd be disappointed. Like, dang.
Yeah, but I think our disappointment can't dictate how we still show up for ourselves and our own time.
It shouldn't impact like me.
Yeah, because that can really sit with you for a while.
Girl, I'm wanting to release.
Please, yes.
It'll impact me for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll get out my system instead of like 5 to 10 days. On to the next. So the bounce back is getting a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that's growth.
It's not like, it's like
your tolerance. Your window of tolerance has kind of like,
come on, window of tolerance. Yeah,
shifted. Okay,
it shifted. So yeah,
I love that. I think for me, I'm fully in Virgo season. Virgo season started like 2 days ago, and
big Virgo energy.
Yes. And I'm kind of happy because I think I'm just trying to like elicit more calmness and kindness to myself. As I'm going through all these transitions. I'm about to turn 30, and I'm excited about it.
New decade.
It's a new decade, which I'm like, wow, how did I get here? I just remember when I was like 15. Honestly,
literally, it feels like yesterday.
It happened
freshman
so
year of
fast.
high school.
It happened so fast, and so
it's kind of scary.
It's concerning. Are we quantum jumping? Like, I'm really thrown.
It is giving jumper.
But I'm grateful nonetheless that growth is happening. And I think for me, just being able to like allocate more time to me. Like, there was a time in my life where I feel like I was really doing well with like my 5 to 9s. Like, what do I want to do after work?
Yeah.
Like, even if I'm not going anywhere, like, I'm coming home, I'm taking a shower, I'm decompressing, I'll take a walk, you know what I mean? I want to kind of get back to that moment. And even if I'm not doing things, I want to get back to like my journaling practices. And I want to get back to like being able to kind of like listen to music. I've been stuck in this weird free zone where like sometimes I can't even listen to music, you know, which is why I kind of wanted to even start our episode about.
You did good.
Yeah, like why is she getting weird? You know? So like I want to be able to like feel like myself again.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like getting out of my own way. And so energy boundary, I really kind of liked when you said that because I was like, yeah, it's all about like how am I putting energy back into myself? So yeah, time is probably gonna be a big one. Saying no to some things. I already have some things on my calendar. It's about to be booked for the next couple of weeks, but in between, right? In between, like making sure I have time for myself, my journaling, my practices. I want to get back to juicing, like doing the stuff that makes me feel good from the inside out.
Inside out.
Yeah, inside out.
Yeah.
All of those things.
All the things.
Okay, so to end out for real. Okay. I'm wearing green today.
The doors of the church are now opening for real.
Okay. I'm wearing green today, and Kirsten, our podcast producer earlier.
Hi, Kirsten.
She made a commentary. She was like, yeah, green, what does that mean? And I was like, you're right, Kirsten. What does that mean? So, like, maybe I was, like, subconsciously channeling some good energy, but it means growth, abundance, mignon. We're trying to get them clean, tatas, clarity, healing, and growth. And so I'm kind of in that space of, like, okay, checking out with, like, what color is on your spirit? What color do you want to feel? Mine's green. I already went, so it's your turn.
That's not fair.
Sorry.
Can't do that.
Actually, while she does that, because I'm a big bully because I didn't tell her I was going to add that question in there.
Right, big bully energy.
All right. Cut it out. Just wanted to give them something to jam to. Green is also known to help alleviate depression, nervousness, and anxiety, which honestly, I felt a lot of that this morning. After I sent out my birthday invitations, I had like a very weird tinge of anxiety because I thought I was clear enough when I said that, like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Everyone was like, didn't make sense to me. And then I have to realize, like, okay, people just want information. It doesn't mean they want to shit on me or my ideas. And I think that's just like my own insecurity. So I feel like putting on this green today was really helping me out with like a feeling of groundedness that I can hopefully take into the week. And just like tranquility, money, luck, health, refreshingness. And that's not a word, but refreshing feelings and tranquility, peace, like all of those things. And so sometimes going into like this little dopamine dressing is like something I really like to do because it helps you channel some new energy. So if you need a little boost during the week, pick a color, stick with the tone, or incorporate it in some type of way, whether that's like your makeup, your shoes, or whatever, and kind of like, you know, let that be your theme of the week. And look up the color psychology of that color and let that kind of help guide you and kind of help you see where your mood's at too. So that's kind of like what I've been feeling lately. And it's so, I don't know, just on target for the body and mind.
Good body and mind. So I guess it's only fair for me to do the colors that I have on since that's what you did.
Okay.
So I have
But you do love an earth tone.
Brown. I do.
So it's kind of fitting.
I have brown and I have blue on. So blue is stability, calm, reliable, tranquility, authority, wisdom, cleanliness, freshness, freedom. And then brown, it says warm, earthy, reliable, stable, approachable. I receive all those things.
I think all of that's like an affirmation to you.
Girl.
And confirmation, because you have been like in a place of like creating your own stability.
Girl. The most stable I've ever been, girl. I was in
freedom.
functional freeze for a decade. I'm here.
She's free.
I'm free, girl. I clawed my way out.
Oh, yay. Affirmations, guys, through color psychology. I'm loving it.
It's all connected. Alignment.
It is. High five, Kendris.
High five. Girl, don't press mute.
Okay. And with that, guys, I feel like where are you feeling?
I feel good. Bye.
Now she did our listeners like that.
Sorry.
Nah, but I do hope that you guys enjoy this episode. Please leave some comments on our YouTube, on our Instagram, on our Spotify. And also please let us know more of what you want to hear because our last few episodes of our season are coming soon.
Yeah.
And that's on us respecting our boundaries and limitations. And yeah, recognizing that we need a shift in energy. We want to bring some people on soon and start kind of like incorporating.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. More things to come on See Something, Say Something Pod. And we will talk to you soon.
Over and out. Bye.
Bye.